All right, our orange Terran player up in the top left corner of Kadaria. This is one of our 2 newly added maps into the IPL map pool. It is Isurus.SenDoh. And down in the bottom left, we have Caliber.LighT, who's already said BM. I don't know why, but he is the pink Zerg here down in the bottom left. Switch during countdown. Who switched, though? Who switched?
Switched during countdown. That's what I'm wondering. So maybe this was a situation where Caliber wanted to play. I don't know. Anyway, so almost 6 pulled you. So
apparently SenDoh had Zerg highlighted and switched to Terran at the end, and Caliber was planning on 6 pooling a Zerg opponent, but maybe perhaps not a Terran opponent.
Okay.
Just play. Just play.
So Kala apparently is disgusted with this result and leaves the game.
He just leaves all the games. He just doesn't even want to watch.
I've noticed.
I think he's lagging, though. Remember, they kicked him out of the first game.
All right. So we have to switch things up a little bit, as Caliber did win the last game in a PvP with cannon rushing, and now he's in a TVZ as the Zerg player. So we've seen that Terran players have some difficulty on this map if they can't effectively secure their 3rd base, and that is actually pretty critical to Terran success lately, is getting that 3rd established, 3rd and even 4th in some circumstances behind the harassment that opens the game.
Right. If nothing else, I predict less cannons in this game.
Really?
Yeah,
there could be a few, maybe.
Just overall less cannons than the previous game. There were something like 8 or 9, I think. So I'm probably going to be less than that. I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to see, but you know, it's really weird to cannon rush as a Zerg.
You owe me lunch if we see more than 8 cannons.
Okay,
so,
done. I'm not going to stake my reputation on it, though.
We do have a hatchery coming out now for Caliber. Decides to hatch first. Looks like it was a little bit late, 16 or 17 hatch. Follows it up with a 16 pool. And but everything's still looking a little bit normal. And we'll see if he decides to get gas fairly early on, or if he's going to do what we've been seeing most of lately, which is, of course, going for that 4 or 6 queen build.
That's right. And Caliber.LighT, we did mention, actually qualified for IPL 5 in, I believe, our American satellite. So he has actually got himself a bracket spot in IPL 5 later this year, in the end of November at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. And we're actually going to have a whole bunch more qualifiers starting very, very soon, actually. The first week of September, we're going to come back with our first American qualifier. Look out for a thread on TeamLiquid.net soon for that next American IPL 5 qualifier. It's all of North America. Actually, no, it's all of the Americas. It's South America, Latin America, Central America, Mesoamerica. Any Americas are actually valid for that qualifier in a couple of weeks. That's
a fact. Yes. So if there's America somewhere in the continent that you live on, then you're good to go.
I just saw the movie The Campaign, and they mention no, you can't put Made in America on Chinese products. He's like, but the village is called America. It's like, technically it's Americai, but I mean, there could be some Americas elsewhere in the world. I'm not sure where that would be. Maybe Italy, since wasn't Amerigo Vespucci Italian? There could be an America out there somewhere. Who knows?
Scouting SCV gets rocked, and looks like it is going to be a total of just 2 queens for now. So we decided to add on that gasket as Zergling speed nice and early. So it's a little bit of a throwback Zerg build here, but still one that is certainly powerful. And this being said, we saw players that decided to go for the gas a little bit earlier, make a huge round of speedlings and try and put pressure on the natural right away. And that could actually be what we get here in SenDoh, not doing what a lot of Terran players have been doing lately and putting that bunker back next to their orbital command to make sure it was a little more secure. He is actually going to put that up at the front, so it can be ran by pretty easily.
That's true. Let's see if Caliber, man, this is so weird after just talking about Caliber as a Protoss. If Caliber runs by with a whole bunch of lings, which most Protoss players don't do,
but there we go.
But he is actually, looks like he is setting up to do just that. 16, 20 lings now in production, so he is not going to waste any time after scouting that front. He knows what he must do, and Zergling speed is going to be done in just a moment. The starport, however, did just finish. I'm not sure if there was a tech lab available for him to flip onto already. Yes, there is, so he is going to be able to start making a Banshee soon. If he fears those lings, Banshees do quite a nice job killing them, but it does take a while. So Caliber does have a pretty good window here to try and do some damage.
Where are you
He's hiding from
Caliber.
Hellions.
So
hiding from those Hellions.
that is true, I suppose. But the Hellions are actually sitting back at home, not really doing anything at the moment. So we'll see what SenDoh is able to do to defend. This is a little more familiar build than we've been seeing out of Terran players, although the third hasn't been started quite yet.
They're running right into some Hellions, it looks like, but they capture them and trap them against the side of the wall, kill off both of them. A lot of Zerglings in red health now. They don't want to run right back in there because obviously that's where the other Hellions are going to look. So he has to resort to running away back to the safety of the Space Shark's shadow.
That's right.
In the center of the map. He has not been edited out.
That's the one flaw of Space Shark, actually. If you're around here, it's a lot of danger, but if you're directly in his shadow, he can't see you. So
that's right.
Yeah.
He can't look directly down. His eyes are on the side of his head.
Yes.
Predators actually usually have the... Actually, no, predators have eyes front. Prey usually has their eyes on the side so that they can see more around them and run away from predators. Predators only look ahead when they chomp down on deer and stuff.
Well, here come some Hellions and a Banshee. I like deer was the first one that came to mind. Deer and stuff.
Well, deer have their eyes on the side, and they look really weird, actually, if you get up close to a deer and he's, like, looking all around with his crazy eyes. Most people don't realize deer have crazy eyes.
One looks like no, deer do have crazy eyes, though. I can attest to this. Unfortunately, this queen taking quite a bit of damage. There is a transfusion available, but we'll need to see a second one here in a second in order to get that first queen up to full health. These Hellions doing a very good job of staying alive at the moment. The Banshees even racked up a few kills as well.
That's right, and I mean, I bet the people watching at home don't realize how many facts they're going to learn about science and life and TV shows and video games and movies and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with StarCraft 2, but we do have queens picking off a couple of these Hellions. It doesn't look like SenDoh is going to be able to get in and do any substantial damage. We have 3 Spore Crawlers coming up from Caliber, so if he does play random enough, I'm sure he knows all these timings pretty well, so he knows exact ZVT timings for putting up Spore Crawlers to defend against Banshees. And we've got 3 barracks coming up now for SenDoh, so he's going to switch back into super heavy bio.
Okay, well, that layer is actually morphing onto the macro hatch, which is kind of cool because it's actually not going to come under fire as easily with a conventional drop or things along those lines. It will require a little bit of dedicated defense, but that's not usually that big of a problem. It's like 1 Spine Crawler, enough to ward those units away. Zerglings make their way up. They're not under the cover of the Spine Crawler, so it's going to be a little more difficult to kill the Hellions, especially they have gotten themselves in a nice position, but eventually they will all go down.
Now the Zerglings will climb on top of each other to attack the Banshee. No, it looks like they are just going to retreat, not choosing to pile up on top of each other to attack the Banshee this
wait for
time.
Heart of the Swarm.
That's right. They call it the Zerg column. They actually form into stairs so that roaches can walk on them and climb up cliffs. It's going to be pretty incredible if Blizzard hears this suggestion and chooses to implement it, because I don't think there are current plans for that at the moment.
Well, that makes me a sad panda. 2 more command centers coming up for SenDoh, though, and looks like turning those into orbital commands at the moment. So he did fall a little bit behind in economy there. It looks like he's going to try and make his way in with a drop. This queen bites the dust, and there's not a lot of defense. There we go. Speedlings making their way in.
It's funny that you say it makes you a sad panda, because that's actually the symbol that Caliber is using for his buildings. That's his flare. Those are pandas.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Are they sad?
I don't remember which game. Or maybe BlizzCon 2012 gave you that that Pandaria sort of flair.
That seems right. I was there, and I think that's what that was. So
yeah. Well, Diablo 3 was the other thing, though. I think you got a panda face and a Diablo skull. But this is just a normal skull that SenDoh is rocking. One of the Terran factions here. But we have Pathogen Glands, Baneling Speed on the way for Caliber, so he is ramping up into that lair tech stuff finally. He's got 5 mutas on the way as well after that Spire is now finished. And look at the production tab for SenDoh. He's just making 1 of everything, 2 of some things, 4 of some things. He's just making stuff.
4?
Yeah, dude.
That's a big number.
4 Marines.
This is total of, let's see, an animal up here is at 7. 7 barracks. 2nd factory on the way as well, so we will be able to ramp into production very quickly, especially with that 4th command center pretty much already done. It's not imperative that he establish it right now. Ooh, no. Baneling Speed, unfortunately, the Zerglings are like, oh, we're going to try and cut you a path. It'll work. He does expand directly underneath the Banshee, though, which was a little bit of interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm sure SenDoh is assuming he was going to expand at some point anyway.
Okay, this is what's fun to me, because the Spine Crawler is technically in range of like this part of the destructible rocks.
It jabs every part.
Yes, because that's the way the animation works. So sometimes the tentacle's like a mile long.
All right, so the Lings are running into Siege Tank fire. They don't like that very much, so they run away. They could start gnawing down this destructible rock here and shorten the attack path, just giving him more options, but it doesn't look like he's going to go for that right now. We do have Burrow being upgraded, as well as Pneumatized Carapace. We've got all sorts of upgrades rolling now for Caliber, and SenDoh is focusing mostly on production.
I think I like this defense better than I did from some other Terran players. We saw them try to cut this entire path in half, and then it stretches. Your defense is really thin. We saw Broodlords able to kind of take advantage of that. They would just come from one corner of it and flock in and do a bit of damage, but this makes sure that all the units are still accessible by these siege tanks, but doesn't expose quite as much.
You know, you're right. I actually realized that in most of the games on Kdaria, we had a Terran in the bottom right, and I'm picturing the sort of tank column that was just very thin all the way down. Yeah, that's bringing back memories here. They usually don't work out well, but I do like this sort of armpit defense. It's the little wedge between your natural ramp and your third base. So Siege Tank's obviously able to cover all of that space pretty well, and Marines are mobile enough that you can stem them up and run straight at whatever's coming in.
It's the same thing that you saw from Protoss players whenever they decided to forge fast expand and would instead decide to drop the buildings in close to their bases. Oh, actually, SenDoh dropping in 2 places at the same time. Looks like these will eventually get cleaned up, but not a great attack path for those Zerglings, unfortunately, and the Mutalisks are going to be able to clean that up. Not much damage done here at the main, though.
That's right, and the Mutas will continue to pursue this and at least kill off that medevac and keep the Marines stranded. Probably going to be killing the Marines as well, just because of the huge numbers of Mutalisks available here, 10 Mutas. He's going to look to expand again. The Lings are going to find these Marines and go ahead and finish them off. Right now, the supply difference is essentially none, so SenDoh and Caliber both keeping up to each other quite well. We have Infestors on the way now, and Ventral Sacks being researched. Big Baneling landmine. I'm not sure exactly how much was lost there, but we did see at 196 supply just a moment ago, so about 20 to 25 supply killed off there.
All right. We were talking about this the other day as well. I mean, that is such a brilliant spot for Baneling mines, and I think that's going to be used quite a bit more. And SenDoh gets everything fungal. The Siege Tank's going to go down to the front very quickly. Good target fire on a few of the Banelings to make sure that they took some extra damage there. But the Infestors, Lings, and Mutas just proving to be too much, and SenDoh has just lost everything.
That fungal Baneling combo hit in multiple places really well. The spread that SenDoh had against Caliber was pretty good looking, but look at the dancing Lings now. Super BM.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay, Caliber.
Caliber really likes the sequence of events that just happened with the Baneling landmine on the bridge, as well as those fungal Baneling blasts, and he's got lots of army still standing, but he doesn't have anything super substantial to attack into a well-fortified tank position.
And speaking of things that you shouldn't sneeze at, a 4-base Terran is one of those, and even if you're quite far ahead, a good stout defense can turn things around. It looks like, though, this is going to be difficult because all the forces are over at the third. Oh, and he unsieges everything. He's got to siege up very quickly, and does. This orbital command has taken a lot of damage, and we'll see if Caliber wants to swing on through.
Well, now that Ventral Sacks are done, I'm curious if Caliber could stage everything here at this base that he just warded the orbital command away from and just load right into the main pretty easily and just bypass this whole tank line. Oh, command center gets saved with about 20 health remaining. Banelings and Lings and Mutas all running in. The Mutas need to focus down these tanks so that the ground forces have some leeway, but it looks like he is going to get repelled, and the orbital command is saved by SenDoh.
All right, well, Caliber is not quite able to kill this. Man, that orbital command was down to just 20 hit points as well. So SenDoh just barely hanging on and needs to find a way to get some damage done. Oh my god, those Baneling mines. Bye-bye.
Big blast there, Caliber. Probably dancing in his chair because he doesn't have any Lings left to dance for us. All these SCVs coming in also prone, but oh wow, there's an attack going on. Wow, this is kind of a weird arc of Marines. You don't normally see them spread like that, and all the Lings just easily wrap around them and kill them off. Fungal on the medevacs. Going to give enough time for the Mutas to come in and kill that off as well. 200 supply now against 128. That's not going to be good enough, SenDoh. You're going to have to figure something out. 26 Banelings in production right now for Caliber.
All right. Well, yeah, that's a fair number of banelings. He's just going to roll right up the gut. He's got a bunch of Ultralisks there. Are there any Marauders thrown in yet? No, there are not. I mean, Marauders are just so valuable against Ultralisks. I don't quite know why Caliber just kind of ran his units in piecemeal there. The Zerglings could have done a little more effective job of tanking and everything coming at once, but it looks like Caliber's just so confident with the overwhelming amount of forces he has that he's not even going to worry about it.
Yeah, it's working out. These banelings actually do manage to get all the way to the target. I really didn't think that was going to happen, but the Ultralisk was drawing all the fire. So now the orbital with 15 mules or whatever it is, 11 mules right there, just getting chomped to pieces. He's focusing the mules. Kind of interesting, but look at the gas for SenDoh right now. He couldn't build anything if he wanted to. It's under 100 gas.
God.
And man, more baneling blast. He's making Corvid reactor for Ravens.
Yes, Seeker missile with no gas.
Nidus Worm coming up now for Caliber as well. 80 lings in production for Caliber. This one is going to be case closed soon, I think.
Yeah, looks like it, unfortunately. I mean, Caliber just doing so much economic damage as well. Ravager Ultralisk there.
Nidus in the main.
Let's see here. There it is.
And of course, SenDoh doesn't see it because he's trying to get his natural and his third safe. The Nidus comes up, and there's only one little path there for the Lings to run out, but that's all he needs. Ling is just streaming out there, killing off all these SCVs. There's only, what, a couple of Marauders that seem to be lost. They weren't even like doing anything. They're just trapped among all those Lings. And now the Overlord drops as well. Oh my goodness. So Nidus and Overlord drops. For those 80 Lings, there are 11 Corruptors in production right now. Caliber just basically stomping all over SenDoh at this point.
Yeah, SenDoh is hanging on, though. Just wants to make sure that can't mount some sort of an incredible defense and make his way back into things. He's got most of the relevant upgrades finished up. So it looks like, oh, actually, never mind. Only had 2-2 finished. He does have Seeker Missile on the way. Another Zergling attack through the third.
And a load up. All those Overlords right above it.
Yeah.
Are loaded up. So four Overlords full of Lings can drop here momentarily if he chooses to, but it looks like all the economic damage that he's done has been really, really helpful. He's down to only 20 gas, SenDoh. Actually 5 gas now, so he's spending it as soon as he gets it. Seeker Missile is going to be done here soon, but Corruptors killing off those Ravens incredibly quickly, not to mention these Medivacs, and I'm sure the Corruptors will be able to get away, at least some of them, before getting picked off by those Marines. 20 Lings and 4 Infestors on the way now for Caliber.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, he had him selected.
Oh,
he was waiting for
really,
the perfect opportunity.
That might have been the best shot he was going to get, but we'll see, obviously, as we continue on here. If he had some Lings buried right there, that'd be really exciting.
All right, well, more Lings making their way in. Do they have Adrenal Glands done? Let me check one of these. They do, yes. I was just confirming. So they kind of just ran into a meat grinder, though, and SenDoh was able to clean all those out pretty easily.
Oh, Baneling landmines, come on.
Where?
Right below you.
There they are. Not go! Not quite running past those. The Corruptor's actually flying directly on top of a bunch of Marines.
Drag them over the mines. Do it. Oh, my goodness.
He's trying to.
He really wants them to.
No kidding.
Why won't you just walk on the Banelings?
Why won't Caliber kill his opponent?
Because he doesn't have a fighting force.
I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, do we have Greater Spire finished up yet? I mean, he has a ton of
here it goes. Here it goes.
Out there. Let's see.
Come on. Oh!
Boom! There we go. That's what we were looking for.
That was satisfying.
Yes.
Come on. Oh my God, over the bridge. Oh, walk over those. Don't.
They're so close.
Just trigger it. Just trigger it.
That would now. It would kill a couple
It'd kill all those Marauders. Oh
God,
my goodness.
that's so close. And he walks away.
He's not going to kill any. Oh well.
All right. So just more Zerglings coming up now. Max supply once again for Caliber. 10 Infestors on the way.
Oh, there we go. See, this is more exciting than nukes to me, because nukes, it's like, oh, there's the dot. I'm going to walk away now. Baneling landmines, it's like, ow. I just lost another 20 units to nothing. Two Banelings can do that.
Those Marauders just got destroyed.
Nidus Worm detected ×2.
Those are all facts. That's one of them, and I'm not sure where the second one is at the moment. May just be transferring some forces back and forth.
Could be. We haven't even needed to look at the bottom half of the map in so long, because Caliber has just been running the show. I'm really surprised SenDoh has even managed to hang on the way he has. He's got 71 supply now, still dropping. Infestors coming in, just dropping infested swarm eggs all over the place. And they're going to be able to clean it up. SenDoh doesn't even GG, just hops on out of there.
All right, so that is game number 5 in the books. LighT taking the